people get involved in your campaign. They say, you know what, I love this woman, I love what she's doing, she's fighting for us.
And I expect all of you guys to get involved with conservative media.
Do you have faith in Janet Napolitano to keep you safe from harm? These people are speaking it out here. They're letting you know what's going on. This is John Villarreal reporting for Conservative New Media.
Conservative New Media, what's going on? It's me, John D. Villarreal. I'm here with candidate for Congress for the 7th Congressional District going against George Miller, Republican Rick Tubbs. And we want to talk to him about what's going on with his campaign, can he win, and why he wants to represent you, and what he plans to do to fix this country for the better. Rick, it's great to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. So, okay, let's just start with it straight off. We were talking off camera about this, and I want to hear about it right now. Why are you running for Congress, and how do you think you can win? There's been Republicans that have run against Miller now. He's been in there, what, 34, 38 years? Nobody can beat this guy. How can you win?
35 years,
okay,
just to be accurate. People in America and District 7 know we're headed for a cliff.
Yeah.
We're going to go off it. And George Miller has been taking us towards that cliff for those 35 years. They are ready for something different. All they need to know is there's somebody out there that has the answers. They just need a smidget of confidence that their vote is going to make a difference for somebody who will take us away from that cliff and steer us where we need to go.
So you're saying a lot of people are just kind of vote for this guy because he's been there forever, and people out there, I know you've been working with the fundraisers and other people, and even people on the Republican side that say, oh, forget about it, we can't beat this guy, and they're just kind of depressed, but you want to change that perception.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This race is winnable, and 2 years ago, 10 years ago, no, it wasn't.
Why is it winnable now, and why can you win it?
It is winnable now, one, because we are in a completely different place in our history. People know there's a problem. People want solutions. Two, I'm a candidate that has those solutions. George Miller doesn't. He's been doing the same thing for 35 years. We need new ideas, new blood in the office to get things done the right way.
You know, I can feel that. People come up to me, even Democrats, liberals, union people, and they know that we're in a bad shape right now. And if we don't do something about this debt deficit, it's over. We might end up like Greece or worse. So I think there is that sense out there, but now you got to break through with them. And so the solutions, the real solutions, what are the real solutions? What do you think are the biggest, like 2 or 3 problems right here in this country right now? Definitely the debt deficit is one of them. What are those for you, and how do you fix them?
The debt is the #1 issue over everything, and it represents so many other problems. So as you fix the debt, you fix so many of those other problems. Second, jobs. Just plain jobs. We don't have enough jobs in this country, and it's killing us. Well, there's this 3-legged monster out there that I talk about. Too high taxes on businesses that produce jobs.
Oh yeah.
Too many expensive, useless regulations, and I got plenty of examples. And too many frivolous lawsuits. That 3-legged monster is killing jobs. In the government, we need to kill that monster that's killing our jobs to bring them back and get people to work.
Well, I agree with you. Now, a lot of people, I grew up in Martinez. My family was there. My dad used to be executive director of county social services. My brother's now executive director of the housing authority over there. And I went to Alhambra High School to graduate. And I remember going over the Benicia Bridge, which is the George Miller Bridge. Everybody knows George Miller over there, and they love him. He's a great guy, this and that, whatever. And he, you know, takes care of people in terms of what they think, in terms of the constituent services and bringing, stuff back for the district. But you bring up a great point. This debt and deficit is so high right now, it's bankrupting everybody. And what is that costing us and costing our kids and our grandkids? I mean, what you're saying, if I'm hearing you right, is that, you know what? Here's a guy that you think is helping you out, but in reality, he's making the business environment here and the economic fortunes of this country in serious jeopardy.
Yeah, first, George Miller's been our congressman a long time. I respect that. I honor that.
Absolutely.
He has done some good things for us.
No question.
However, we face a new challenge in the future that he is not equipped to fix or make better. I've got those skills. He doesn't. And you're right. When we look at the answers that he and others in government have provided, they have all come at the expense of our children and grandchildren's future. We can't keep writing their checks to pay for what we want and need. So we have to have responsible government that looks at our assets and manages them wisely so that we can sustain what we're doing. Because right now what we're doing is unsustainable.
Well, if you're a household, you can't keep spending more than you have. You're going to go bankrupt. The bank's going to come calling, the credit cards are going to come calling, and all the rest. And it's like that. I mean, yeah, we don't have funny money that we can just print here, China, Japan, other people have been buying that debt, and at some point they're going to say, you know what, it's not a good credit risk anymore, we're not going to do it. And what you're saying, if I hear you right, is that George Miller is a tax and spend guy. Maybe a great guy, we honor his service, we're not saying he's a bad guy, but what we're saying is that what he's about and what the Obama agenda is about, which he is absolutely implementing, one of the key proponents of the Obama agenda is fiscal insolvency. It's craziness. And you're against that. You want to make sure, I mean, if people can't, and the taxes, you hit on that. If people can't keep their money, there's no incentive to work.
Right.
So we can't have any jobs.
Right.
So how do we shift that around here? You're elected now. We're going to get you in there. What do you do when you're in day one here? How do you make it happen? How do you get jobs back in this country, fiscal sanity back in this country and state?
You bet. We do it from two sides. And I will beat this drum all day long.
Yeah.
Two sides. We go after the budget. We cut the spending by greater efficiency. It's the 21st century now. We have to do things smarter and cheaper and better, and we can. Two, we cut the programs that we just shouldn't fund. Let's talk about farm subsidies that go to multi-billionaire farm corporations and individuals like Ted Turner. Cut those out. I don't want to pay those taxes to pay that, do you?
Right, no.
No, I don't. Let's cut them. And then whatever's left, we reduce. We get to a point where we can afford what we're doing. Now on the other side, just go after that three-legged monster to bring those jobs here. Americans will compete and win anywhere in the world if you give us a chance. Get the handicap burden of government off businesses so they can get those jobs, create them, and keep them here in America.
I agree. So let's talk about some specific stuff. Now, George Miller, he voted for this health care bill, this thing that people really are against, the Obama health care plan. How do you feel about that, and what do we do to fix that?
That health care bill, 2,700 pages, or whatever it was.
That the people who voted for it didn't even read it, most of them.
Right, right. It needs to not be repealed, it needs to be replaced.
Okay.
What is good in the bill, like portability and competition, keep it.
That's fine.
But the priority should have been reducing the cost of health care. There's $100 billion plus or minus a few $1 billion of fraud, just flat fraud in Medicare. The bill doesn't go after that. That should have been priority number one in any health care. Tort reform. I've spoken with doctors who say half of what they order for patients is to satisfy lawyers instead of take care of their issues. That's 50% cheaper, maybe, just in tort reform. That's where we should attack first.
Absolutely.
Cost. And now healthcare becomes much more available to everybody because it's affordable.
And what about the cost? We don't have it in this bill. With the Obama bill, he basically protected monopolies for these insurance companies. That's one of the reasons why they backed him. See, he did a backdoor deal with these dang insurance companies and the pharmaceuticals, because at first they'd normally be behind it. They didn't want to do a Harry and Louise to him, and he was afraid of that. And so he did a little backdoor deal with them, in my personal opinion, and it's like, oh, we're going to get you new customers if you just go along with us and whatnot. Then people found out about it, say, hey, this isn't going to reduce prices. I mean, that's what you're saying. We don't have the tort reform. We don't have the competition between the states because there's 1,300 some odd insurance companies around the country. It'd be nice, like car insurance, if you could, choose some of these things, or house insurance or whatever. But you can't do that with this bill. So there's a lot of things that are good with the portability and pre-existing conditions. There's a lot of things that are bad and a lot of things that he just didn't want to address.